How's it going? I'm Marcus.
And I'm Rami.
And I'm Karo.
And I'm Kelly.
And this is the podcast where we try and figure out what this podcast is about.
And what we're doing with our lives.
You might have noticed this week we've got some extra guests.
Our wives! It's a special WAGs episode of figuring things out.
And they hate it.
The worst. It may not make it.
What did we talk on this podcast today, Kel?
Oh, Jesus, what did we talk about?
D-Day.
D-Day?
Normandy.
Engagement.
Religion.
Yeah.
Oh, we covered the big ones. Engagement stories, religion.
The real inside story on Elon Musk.
Eye gouging.
Best podcasts. The worst parenting moments. This was a solid take.
Yeah.
We covered a lot.
Yeah, I wonder how much I edited out. A lot of coughing from Karo. It's going to be great.
We may have tuberculosis.
Some kind of weird fake cough.
Okay, hope you enjoy it.
Hey.
How's it going, Rami?
Really good, Marcus. Good to see you again.
Anything weird?
Not that I can tell. Just normal.
So where are we, Rami?
Mostly your shorts is where we are right now.
They're a little bit short for this podcast.
Also, the camera's straight
And the one blue toenail. I don't think your toenails have been featured on this podcast before.
We should have, yeah. Maybe
Details.
a little bit of pre-work.
Details.
So, what are we going to talk about, Rami?
This is great.
Usually you're the one who's ready for this stuff.
I've done a lot of prep.
Where are we, Kel?
I just noticed that Kara's not going to talk. She's just like,
Just
done.
can't,
She's
I
done
can't
already.
handle podcast Rami.
What's with podcast? What is podcast Rami?
Just like your voice tone,
What
your
happened?
enthusiasm, your posture.
So what you're saying is I'm completely unenthusiastic and dull normally.
Yeah.
Yeah, could you be a little sadder,
That's
Rami? It
awkward.
just feels a little fake, you know?
That's awkward. All right, fine.
Just
Whatever goes.
So, should we do a bit of an intro?
Yeah.
We got some more people than we usually have on the podcast.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I'm just going to be sad, Rami.
You want one of us to say where we are because you actually don't know. Is that
I actually
right?
don't. I still don't
You
know
have no
where we
idea
are.
where we are.
Well, I really don't. Pinecrest?
Pinecrest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where are we, Kel? Tell us how we got here.
We're in Pinecrest. We
What's
drove
happening?
here in a ridiculously big truck.
Which is great.
Your truck.
And he loves it. He said I'm doing the right thing for the environment. Keeping that truck is the way to, getting rid of it would be worse for the environment.
The truck is the mascot of this podcast.
You're
Everyone
welcome.
says so.
Yeah, everyone loves it.
Stanislaus National Forest is where we are. Just north of the Yosemite. Delightful.
Okay, so, Karo, I'd like to talk to you about how many of these podcasts you've watched so that we can go through. This is a good opportunity for, so we should go into it. This is Kelly, my wife, lucky lady, together 15 years. Rami, would you like to introduce Karo?
I'm not sure I can. I'm not allowed to.
Okay.
Just because I'm too exuberant and my vocal tone is too positive.
So we're here.
This is Carolina, my wife of 5 years.
Just do like Netflix Rami.
What's Netflix, Rami?
Just staring.
Intent.
2 or 3 words in the whole line.
We had an anniversary, 5-year anniversary last week.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah,
it was
happy
great.
anniversary.
Thank you.
So you can get an invite to that.
You got an invite to most of our intimate moments.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, it's true.
I have been around for some of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Inception.
Wait.
The relationship, right?
Inception.
And one of the children. But that was an accident.
You and Dr. Tran. This is my wife, Karo. Everyone would know Karo because we talk about Karo all the time. We talk about Kelly all the time. We talk about you guys all the time.
We do. Kelly knows because she watches the podcast.
I don't actually,
like-
I don't watch it. I listen to it.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
don't want to have to look at you any more than I already do.
Truth.
Savage.
It's good. We're at that stage, 15 years.
We've actually done this whole thing as a ruse. The entire weekend, Memorial Day. We created Memorial Day so we can get up here
Yeah.
and just do this so we can find out and get you on the spot
Yeah.
to know who's listening to what.
So the questions I have are, which were our standout episodes in your mind, Karo? Which are the ones that really resonated and that you could bring to the... We've been doing this how long now, Rami? January, February, March, April, like 5 months?
Whole year.
Top 15 podcasts in Ireland
This
for
is-
tech podcasts.
This is our 20th episode.
20th
Happy 20th.
episode. Yeah. No,
Happy
I mean,
20th.
it's big. And it's a big part of our lives. It matters, you and I, mates, and this is really important to us.
Yeah.
So we did want to dig in with Karo. Just some of the best bits, Karo.
I really enjoyed the episode with Bonnie, guys.
With Bonnie. That was a good one. It was a
was a
good one.
good one.
Bonnie, it was definitely a maid I was trying to make. Although I've not done anything since.
So the one episode where it's not just you and I, it's mostly about someone else.
Another Aussie.
Really love that one.
Yeah.
Why did you like the one with Bonnie in particular?
It's nice. Felt like I was, as we've discussed, like I was listening into your date.
Yeah, it was kind of a lad's date.
You've said that before. You've said that it basically sounds like we're on a date, you're eavesdropping, and you're kind of, hang on a minute. Why don't you get the same privileges, is what you said to me.
We don't, you guys date more than you date your wives. That's
I
fine.
thought that the date
We're very
was with us and
supportive.
Bonnie. I didn't know me and Rami were dating. I thought it was at the guests that we were I didn't know that. Is it the me and Rami chat that's the date?
I
Yeah.
feel like you guys are dating.
Yeah.
I feel like we get
You
the
guys
best
really,
of you.
yeah,
by
you
listening
really
to the
open up
podcast.
to each other, and like you're on a wavelength in a way that you're not really, you like make an effort in a way that
That I stopped doing 12 years ago.
Certainly since before the birth of our second child.
This is backfiring in all sorts of ways I couldn't have predicted.
I'm the editor. I'm just going to make it look good anyway. It doesn't matter. Marcus is great at when he makes me happy.
Well, maybe we should talk about something besides the two of you. I mean, it might be hard.
That's
I don't
a
know.
good idea.
We've
It's a
never tried to
podcast.
do that. Episode 20, something new.
Not about it. It's a podcast. Entirely so. It's entirely egotistical.
What
No,
would
you're
we
right.
talk about, Kel?
I don't know.
Probably shouldn't have done that bomb.
If you, out of curiosity, if you two were going to do a podcast by yourselves,
Yeah.
question.
what do you reckon that podcast would be
Great
about?
question. I don't think they would do it together for a start.
Why not?
I don't think they have anything. Do you
I don't
anything
have
a
common interest, do we?
Yeah.
It's not about common
We
interest.
were
it's
just
about
talking about
complementary.
books. Like,
Yeah.
like,
We read.
we read
You
sometimes.
readers?
We both read.
That's stupid
Both
speed.
have two very young children.
Are you a fast
and
reader as well, Carol?
Deadbeat husbands.
I'm alright. It's true.
The bashing. The bashing.
Laying the
me
smack.
and, me and Rami are
Brilliant.
trying to ease in and be friendly. It's like, yeah,
We
in
got lots
15
to talk
years,
about.
we don't like Marcus anymore. Just to be
Kel
clear.
as the neg track at all
And she
times.
sits the furthest she possibly can on the couch in case there's any doubt.
Hey, I was sitting here first. I was sitting here. You sat down over there.
Okay, sit with a pillow.
You don't need common interests. You just need to. Like, what do you?
Yeah.
Forget. It's
We talk
irrelevant.
about our lives and family
Yeah.
and kids.
You would,
and
right?
Books and stuff.
Yeah. Do you listen to podcasts?
I listened to My Favorite Murder. That's about it.
It's a good one.
Religiously.
Although I did just
You watch
listen
that?
to.
You listen to that?
I've listened to it.
Have you guys listened to Sweet Bobby?
No.
It's so. I mean, it's only like 6 episodes. It's a deep dive into this woman who was catfished for like 10 years. She was in this relationship with this guy and basically lost her entire 30s to this guy who was emotionally abusive and then she thought they were going to get married, but it was like every time like she tried to pull away, and every time she'd pull away, he'd like have a heart attack on the phone or like a stroke, and he was in the hospital. And like the person who catfished her, I don't want to give it away in case you guys watch it, but created like
I feel like you're just about to
100
give it away.
different personalities. No, I don't want to say who it was, but
Okay.
they created like 100 different personalities, all with like their own social media, and like were in contact with her own family members, so that like when she'd start to doubt, then she'd like go to her grandparents and they'd be like, oh yeah, Bobby was texting with us recently, and like just this incredibly
Creepy.
elaborate
Too
thing.
much.
It's like it's intense. You guys should listen to it.
It's on the fringe of crime genre. Isn't
Yeah,
It?
but
What is it about crime and you guys?
I don't know.
I'm going to say you guys are the general. There is definitely like a. I'm going to say women. I'm going to say white. I'm going to say
White
there is
women.
definitely
Yeah.
white women in crime genre. Like it's a fact. It's not me making things up. Why do you think that is?
It's a bit of danger, safe danger.
Ooh. Is it really? Ooh.
Is it? Does it have to be fun crime though? Like my favorite murder is like
It's funny.
a comedy crime,
Yeah.
which is crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I can't listen to it. Kelly. She's like wetting herself in the kitchen, and I'm like, I put it on, and it's just like I'm having nightmares after. First one I was like, okay, yeah, maybe I just have to get into it. Second one's about kids dying, and I'm like,
Yeah.
what are we doing here? Like, you know,
Yeah.
no crack.
I don't know, because I like true crime, like books and stuff as well. Like, I've
Karo,
always been
non-stop.
interested.
Netflix,
There's
the
a
same.
Do
fascination.
you get nightmares?
No.
Do you get if Rami's out of town? Do you get worried about the locks on the door and all that stuff?
She's worried if I'm in town.
Generally, I worry about locks on the door.
Yeah, but does it change if Rami's at home or not?
No.
Because you are terrified.
Yeah, I started thinking about the Golden State Killer. Just get really freaked out.
the
Like,
80s.
No.
Oh, who's he
Well, I mean, they just caught him. Like, he was active in the 60s, 70s, and 80s,
Yeah.
but it was really
Yeah,
dark stuff, like, really scary. Like, he would go into places where, I mean, I don't know why I get scared when you're out of town, because it was couples at home, and he would, like, tie the man up in another room and, like, pile dishes on him and be like, and then take the wife into the other room and torture her, and then he would be like, if I hear these dishes move, I'm going to kill your wife.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, and he'd
have
wake
nightmares.
people. He'd go into their rooms while they're sleeping, wake them up by shining a flashlight into their eyes, so they're like totally disoriented. And it's just like that thing stays with me. The idea of that you're going to go to sleep
Oh,
and
Jesus,
wake
stop.
up to a flashlight shining in your eyes, and this. Like,
Well,
Yeah.
that's going to be a great night
there
for
we go.
everyone tonight. Yep.
Oh, camera stopped recording, so you don't have to worry about
Oh, good.
video.
I told you the camera would stop.
yeah.
Will I reset it?
Yeah, reset
Okay.
it. Why not? Just in case.
Keep going.
We're going to keep rolling.
I don't know. I think it's something as well. Like, I don't think it's just like titillation. I think there's something about like this stuff happens, and that like it mostly happens to women, and like there's a fear of it, and like what's the worst that can happen? Like, what could the most horrible things that could happen to you be? And like
That's interesting. So you're it's almost immersion therapy. You just
Yeah.
put yourself in it so much that you kind of get to the boundaries of it.
and I don't know, and it feels like almost like preparation in some way,
Right.
and like
All the possible scenarios, you can be playing it in your mind.
yeah,
That's intense.
I don't know.
Okay, so you're going to do a true crime podcast is what's going to happen of your favorite murder-like things.
Yeah, I think that's already
Market's
covered.
been-
Yeah.
Do you think that market saturated? It's about doing it better though, isn't it? It's about doing it
I
better.
think yeah.
Karo?
I just like moaning about our lives.
Yeah, I like that too.
Parenting, family drama.
Moaning about your life. What, on your podcast? That's what you'd like to be doing?
Just feels like therapy then, doesn't it?
Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, I've often said to Marcus it's essentially what it is.
Yep.
Yeah.
Why pay someone?
What? If you can get it recorded and have 30 people listen to it.
It's good to have a good moan. Yeah, I'd be up for that.
Yeah.
Wednesday nights, I don't think.
There we
Wednesday
go.
night, 8:30.
I compete.
Yeah.
I could compete
Oh my God. A
for
competing tech
listeners.
podcast.
We could compete for listeners.
Yeah.
You get better guests.
That would literally be the same listeners.
Oh, we would.
It would
I would love to
be
win.
exhausting for our parents. They're like, oh, fuck, another hour of podcast to listen to every week. Yeah.
That's amazing. Wait, what would you moan about your lives?
Just, our lives are lovely, but,
Uh-huh.
hard work, isn't it?
Is it?
It's hard work having young children. Like,
Yeah.
if you guys don't think that means you're not pulling your weight.
Yes, Cal. Yes.
It's the topic of most of our podcasts, I'll have you know, Kel.
We do talk about the kids a lot.
Yeah.
Do you?
About parenting a lot.
you?
You'd know. What's your favourite thing we talk about, Karo?
I think it's really important that we focus on electric cars and looking after the
That was one
planet.
episode. That was really good. Really good.
Yeah.
It's a recurring theme, but yeah.
For the children.
For the sake of the children.
Yeah.
Did you watch our first episode even? No, that's like the 7th episode or something, isn't it? 6th.
But I really enjoyed it.
Good. And it's one of those things that it's like you don't want to go back for more in case you kind of get like it leaves
not
a
as
good
good as it-
taste. And
I
you're
mean-
like, that was nice.
Bonnie's got a great voice, doesn't he?
He does have a great voice.
He's also very measured, isn't he? He's got a statesman
The
like.
hair's lovely too.
Oh, I
It's
What are you
didn't. I
doing?
miss out when I'm not watching.
What?
I'm,
What
I'm
the
just
hell?
listening.
What's
Do you
going on right now?
Do you
Lovely
think?
curly
Whoa!
locks.
I gotta check in here 1 second. Based on voice, do we think do we think Bonnie's a hottie? Based on voice,
I don't know. He's got a nice voice. Like I wouldn't extrapolate from that. He's Australian and he has a good voice. He's probably pretty.
so
good
it's
looking.
ironic. You're saying like, given he's Australian, his voice is good.
I think I get what she's saying.
very handy around the house, Cal, as well.
I get what Kel's
Oh.
What does
saying.
that even mean?
Wow.
I don't even know. Is this innuendo or literally he's?
He makes a great hand.
Got a lovely house.
He does love
He has
Does
a
it all
tiny
himself.
house, right?
It's
I wouldn't
not
be up
tiny,
for that.
It's like a chalet that he's like done himself.
And
by
he's,
hand.
I think his missus might have something to say about that.
she
Right?
hand painted the entire
did she?
outside. Yeah.
I thought Bonnie
with a
does it.
brush.
I didn't realise. I thought Bonnie does it all.
No, they do it together.
Yeah, that's
Aw,
Bonnie's.
Yeah,
that's
they
nice.
do it
Let's not
together.
believe that, Whitney. That's classic Bonnie. Oh yeah, no, I'm saying, Tesla. That's me. I did all that. I mean, Elon's there sometimes.
From scratch.
Oh yeah, I couldn't get on board with the Elon Musk worshipping.
Worshipping
Well,
us. Or in general?
Bonnie has a.
Big-
I mean, I
big-
guess
big
you
fan.
have to work there, but like,
It's part of it.
Still, Kara likes the Tesla. I think that's the important thing.
What are you going to do for a vehicle? We have talked about you and what car you're going to get now that you've passed the test. And we heard that
Did Rami tell
Teslas
you
are
that I
a bit
ruined
beige.
his wheel?
You what?
Did Rami tell you I ruined his wheel?
Oh, and did you curb it?
Yeah, I curbed.
Just one?
So mad with me.
So were you?
Wasn't
Tell
mad.
me about it. I want to.
So
Rami, can you just not talk for a second?
Okay.
Can you tell me the story about that?
so mad.
What happened? Doing a little bit of parallel parking.
No, I was
Straight
driving.
into the curb. Straight into the
Interesting question.
I was driving and just hit the curb. I just hit the curb. But I didn't really realise it looked quite bad, actually, when you saw it.
So, my turn.
No, it's not fair. I didn't get to tell the story.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're just
sorry. Tell
starting.
the whole story.
So obviously I didn't, Rami saw it and then he was just super mad and asking a lot of questions.
Can we go back a bit just for our listeners? How long have you been driving?
4 months?
Yeah, just passed your test, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're just giving it a go. A little bit nervous, maybe still, let's try some new things. And Rami, driving your car.
Mm-hmm.
And when someone's learned to drive, there's things happen, right?
Yep. I saw it and I went, must have been while you were parking. Happens. Just
This is definitely not the tone or the words that were used.
because I've gone, hang on a minute. It seems like 3/4 of the rim have been shredded.
This was at pace. There was some speed that it was turning.
So I said, hey, how did it actually happen? She goes, I just hit the curb. I'm like, right. But as soon as you hit it, you stop. She goes, well, I was moving. I'm like, wait, did you do it while you were parking? No, not while I was parking, while I was driving.
Okay, again, this was not the tone that was used during
Was it
the
your rear
conversation.
wheel? The rear wheel going around the corner is
It
a
was
tricky one when you're starting.
Front wheel
wheel.
going straight.
Front wheel going straight.
So
Okay.
hang on a
I'm really
minute.
trying to help
tricky.
you here, Karo.
Also tricky when you're first starting out.
This is what. So straights tend to be tricky. Straights tend to be tricky. So my
Was
200.
it a moving curb? One
My-
of those ones that jumps out?
This
Was
is where
it
I
some
got.
sort of...
My entire thing was, what actually happened?
This was not the tone, once again.
It was
This
20
not the
questions
tone
just
used.
to ascertain what happened because it was slowly evolving.
Do you know what was the worst thing about it? He wanted to know so he could try and help me drive better.
No,
Oh, Rami.
I wanted
This is not going well.
that's not what happened. I wanted to know, just in case we've nailed the axle. If we're going at 30 miles an hour, we've just suddenly hit the curb. What were we doing? What happened?
It's on
They
the, I
wanted
didn't, it's not on
we
this
wanted
side.
to get some learnings from it. We together wanted to get some
Just in
learnings
case it happens to
from
Rami as well. Could happen to anyone.
It could happen anyway.
I thought the Teslas were supposed to not let you do that sort
It's a
of
good
thing.
point. It's a good point. Yeah, it didn't avoid that curve, did it? There was no
Does it do curb avoidance if you're driving? No.
It knows some stuff. It's definitely helped blind spot before. We were trying to merge, and it stopped that happening.
Did it?
Hitting a car. Yeah.
Who was driving you? Anyone.
Maybe.
Let's not point
Rami
out.
would-
It could have been anyone.
Anyone driving?
Anyone.
Yeah.
Could have been the kids.
Yeah.
But yet the car beeps all the time when you're about to crash into someone in front of you, but we never mention that. That's never mentioned.
No, but you stopped, didn't you?
No, because the car stops you.
No, your foot's on the. Yeah. Anyway,
Double standard.
we've got a little.
Is he a late breaker, Carol?
He's a late breaker.
Oh man, this one too.
It's
And
years of
often
experience.
because I'm looking over and he's pressed some button. I don't know what it does on Tesla. He's tired on the motorway with me and the kids in. He's got one arm on. Eyes basically closed.
Oh.
Beep.
Look like it's resting.
And so this is the man that wants to talk to me about the couple of chips on the hubcap.
Yeah.
Not a hubcap
He's
though, is
making a
it?
big deal out of it.
It's not a hubcap though, is it? It's not.
It's not a hubcap. Hubcaps would be a lot easier to replace, all right. To be fair. It's an alloy. And it's a matte black alloy, so it's not even you can
Don't even know. Don't know.
yeah.
Mm.
Anodized.
Mm.
Yeah, you're not gonna be able to fix that.
That's what I said. Anyway,
Maybe it's better not to invest so much emotion in your car.
I told
true.
Why
my-
didn't we get the one with the hubcaps?
I should have.
this is how Kelly's brain works. I told her I need new wheels for the truck because they're nearly bald, and I said it's going to be expensive. They're about $3,500, and she said, "Ooh, I saw a tortoise. They're only $1,000. We could get 3 of those."
I did not say
That's
that.
how her brain works.
Wait,
And
I
I'm
saw
like,
a tortoise.
Yeah, we were in the reptile store yesterday dropping off beans at the border.
beans is our lizard. At the
thought you
border,
meant
and at
actual
the
beans.
border is not Mexico. She means dropping beans off at our
To be boarded
boarded.
while we were away, so they take care of her.
Boarded, got it. Okay, yeah.
So that was her thing, just as if like we could weigh up maybe we should do a pro and cons sheet.
I
Between
said
tyres and tortoise.
we could get one tortoise and 2 tires.
That's fair because you can balance them. You can go front
I
and back.
don't understand how the tyres already. You've only had it 3 months.
No, I've had it for...
it's a second-hand car. It was a second-hand truck.
Yeah,
so.
if Kelly can just...
They weren't new.
It's easier.
Well, you're going to use a lot of words to say something really simple.
So good. This is excellent.
Yeah.
I wonder if this is how our listeners feel. I wonder if Kelly's the voice of reason.
No.
Well, you know them all, so you can just ask
That's a
them
great
after
point.
they're-
Actually, can you all just...
One of them is here. Like half our audience is actually on this podcast.
I'm
is
sure
really
your
a
parents
very-
will be fine with it.
Yeah.
poorly performing audience. Yeah, okay.
Do you know Rami? Tell me a little bit about Rami's post-podcast ritual. Do you know what it is, Karo?
I'm in bed at 9, so
Yeah, I
no,
know,
I
but
can't.
do you have any idea what he does afterwards?
No.
Binge-a-thon.
Do you binge?
There's usually some food behaviour.
Jif. A bit of Jif. If there's any pizza left, that's gone.
It's true.
Do you?
Bit of peanut. Yeah.
What time do you go to bed?
Like 11:30. Yeah.
Do you hear him coming in even? No.
Out.
You hear me coming in, don't you?
Sometimes
do
I'm
it- oh,
still
yeah, you
up.
do it outside.
But what do you do when you finish with because you don't go straight to bed?
I just unwind for a bit. I
Watch YouTube videos.
yeah, I kind of dick around on my phone for a bit and then...
He's addicted to YouTube. He falls asleep watching YouTube videos on his phone.
Because he owns 12 channels.
But,
every night.
That's not good for your brain.
No.
I do. I
Fall
put
asleep
the
watching
single... I
your
fall asleep
phone,
with an
like-
AirPod in every night.
You do what?
Fall asleep with an AirPod in every night.
Wow.
And he
Listening to
watches
something,
the
audiobook
most
or...
Yeah,
boring
I do.
YouTube
I have to
videos.
listen
It's
to them.
always
What are they?
just some nerdy-looking white guy talking about something.
Linus
Tech
Tech
reviews
For
or
a
something.
long
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, that's the niche.
That's accurate.
That's what
Yeah.
he's in.
Yeah.
I mean, Kara's also watching screens at all times, falling asleep. It's just Boston legal
Yeah.
is the difference.
Yeah, I have to watch
It's not
trash
YouTube.
to get to sleep.
Yeah. No, I get that. Unwind. That's a thing. When kids take up all your time and you're doing all the bedtime and everything, there's always, you wouldn't know about this.
You've been doing it for a whole 2 weeks
That
now.
was amazing.
2 weeks.
2 weeks
I've
out,
been parenting
out of
for
the
2
last
weeks.
6 years of having young children. Marcus taken over 2 weeks ago doing bedtime,
I'm not talking about just bedtime.
except on Wednesdays.
Do you?
Oh, that's a new noise you can make, Karo. When she's not coughing, she's opening wrappers of the loudest candies you can, opening it into the microphone. I'm literally thinking we can't use any of this yet.
We just do an ASMR, like candy wrapper opening.
That's actually how
Crinkle,
Kara's
crinkle.
voice sounds sometimes when she's doing it. Yeah. What are you eating?
Mambas.
Mambas. Delicious. Delicious. Okay. Also, have you all had ice cream? Am I the only one who hasn't had ice cream?
I've
I'm
not
the
had
only
ice
one
cream.
who's had ice cream.
You're the only one who's had
They
ice cream.
went for wine, I went for ice cream.
I cannot wait. That is the absolute post-podcast binge tonight. No question.
That might be the future.
That's it. Do you wind down after kids going down?
I mean, I kind of work whenever I can. So I just, if there's time, I go into my studio for an hour. Well, most of the time, actually.
Do you have to wind down from that though?
I used to. Now I'm so tired. I can just
Yeah,
go to
just go
sleep.
to bed.
Crash out.
Yeah.
Are you able to get the painting done in bits? Like, what's the minimum quantity you can do before you can do your work?
Yeah, I mean, right now, the stuff I'm working on is very, you can go and come back. Like, I could, in theory, like, if I could do it in 10 minutes or 20-minute increments. It's just once I get started, it's very hard to stop. So it's usually an hour.
Got it. Okay.
At least.
Because I imagine like there's the paint
Sorry,
and
am
the
I
brushes
messing stuff up?
Oh, we're good.
and the bits, like just getting going.
I have
you
it all
to clean
out. I'm not
And then
very good
cleaning.
about washing my brushes and stuff. I just
Okay.
kind of rinse them and then set them down, which you can't get away with some mediums, but you kind of can with gouache and watercolor. And so I do that. It's not very good for them, but
Okay.
I'm using really little brushes, so they're not very expensive. So
Rationale. At least 1,000 brushes for a tire, so you're fine.
yeah, but I always make sure there's always 2 cups of water sitting on my desk, and my computer's there, and the paper, like whatever I'm painting is right there. So there's a minimum. There's not a lot of setup that has to be done before I can start working.
You should see doing. Yeah, how is this your 3rd year of 100-day art projects?
No, I started when we were living in San Francisco. I haven't done it consistently every year, but the first year I did it was drawing the mess in our apartment. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Like
Oh
line.
my
That was
god!
awesome.
Why would you want to memorialize that?
I just think it's really interesting. Like the shit. Like I did one where there was just like a pile of bags, like random bags piled on top of each other with like a one shoe on top, and it was just like, I don't know, just some. it makes you see it in a way that you didn't see it before.
So real.
And all those individual pieces she does when she's doing like so Kelly does 100 days art projects. They're intended to be consecutive, right? You're supposed to do one every day for 100 days.
Yeah.
But like a kind of a theme. But when you get to the point where you should see her studio now. Like when you got like 60 or 70 of them on a wall or laid out, like it's just so cool
putting them
seeing
up
them all
in the
together.
room?
Well, I just put them up on the bookshelves that are next to my desk because it's good when you're working on a project to have the work up so you can like look at it.
Yeah, context. Okay, we're gonna need a photo of that. I could just imagine like a wall
so
of it.
cool.
I mean, the
It's
100-day
beautiful
thing
mind.
is just kind of like an Instagram stunt, and it's just like to get you kind of going. So
yeah.
I don't.
Have I outed you? Is that not cool at all?
It's not very cool, but
Okay.
it's not. It's part of my larger practice. So it's
Nice.
like, you know.
Yeah, whatever it takes.
No, I mean it's right now I'm using it to do studies of things that are going to be bigger paintings that like ultimately hopefully will be an exhibition. So it's good to have them up so I can look at them and try to put them together and
I think you should use
see
this
what I can.
use this podcast as a sponsoring platform.
Yeah, are your any of your 100-day projects up on your Dunnigan.net?
I don't know.
What's your website?
My website is kellydunnigan.net. It's,
How do you spell Dunnigan?
are you joking me? You're not going to put this on the podcast.
No, I can't remember. So one of
Do
the
you
things
know
I get in
Marcus
trouble.
does not know my middle name?
I do know her middle
He
name.
doesn't know how to pronounce it or spell it.
I just
So I don't know if that means that he knows it or not.
What's Kelly's middle name?
Go
Can you
on,
spell
say
it,
it.
please?
I will get it right, but I need a second. So it's either Kathleen or Caitlin, and it's Kathleen, Kathlyn.
Yeah.
Boom.
It's never been Caitlin. I don't know why you think it's Caitlin. Like Caitlin's never been any part
But I
of my
know what
name.
it is.
The spelling may sound like Caitlin. I can see that.
Yeah.
Been
Can you
together for
two? You
15
two have
years.
very, very different interests.
Yeah.
That is very interesting to me.
For a while when we first started dating, Marcus would just adopt my interests
Yeah.
and
Nice.
then like pretend that he was doing them first.
Like give one example.
Photography,
Give another one.
scuba diving.
Scuba diving is not one. I've been scuba diving longer than you have.
Yeah, but it wasn't until you met me and I was a professional scuba diver, and then you were like, "Oh yeah, I'm into scuba diving. I'm gonna get my BCD. You got your own BCD, and which you
Wanted to buy
never
the
used
kit.
once. Yeah.
Hang on.
He bought all the kit. He loves to buy the kit, and then he heard about sharks and decided he was never going to scuba dive again.
Heard about sharks? Was it the baby shark one? Was it Nemo? Was it Finding Nemo? When did you hear about sharks?
Do you remember all those shark attacks off Sharm el Sheikh in Egypt? It was
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he was about to go. He was supposed to go
That's
on a
right. I was
liverboard
going
in
on a dive
Egypt,
trip to Egypt.
and
That's
it
right.
freaked him out, and
Yeah,
he
that would
just never dived again.
Wait, can we backtrack for a second? Did you say professional scuba diver?
Yeah, I'm a dive master. I used to. Yeah. Hear about this again.
No, Kelly's a dive master. She is for legit a diver. And so when
I was
when-
actually, yeah, Kelly
Let me
was just
get this
saying.
for you.
She was just saying.
She's a dive master.
Okay, all right.
So we've done some diving together.
Yeah, we have done all that.
Last time we went diving, Kelly nearly died. She was doing a dry suit dive and it was the wrong size for
yeah.
her and it cut off all the circulation to her head.
Yeah,
She came
that's
up to the
right.
surface and her
God.
head was purple, like literally
What
purple.
are you
Jesus.
for real?
Yeah, the dry suit dives. Dry suits. If the seal is too tight, it can cut off the circulation in your carotid artery, and you can just pass out under the water, which is dangerous.
This is why I don't dive.
Passing
It's
out under
too-
water is
Yeah,
dangerous.
that's one of those
Go
things.
on.
Not, as someone who's not a dive master.
Yeah.
That's
That was good important
Dude,
information.
passing out
Stop doing
underwater,
Got it.
not good usually.
Not good.
Yeah, that you learn that.
Wait, what's a dry suit?
When it's really cold, so you know what a wetsuit is. It
Yeah.
uses the water to insulate you. But if you dive in really cold water, a wetsuit can't keep you warm enough. So a dry suit has a tight seal, and you have a layer of air
Got it.
inside it, and it keeps you warm.
Got
and
it.
then you don't have a vest for buoyancy. You use the dry suit for buoyancy.
Got it.
And you have to. It's a little bit tricky because it's like you can get air pooling in your feet, and then you're just stuck upside down. And you can,
It's
like,
tricky, and also
As a dive master yourself.
urinating in your wetsuit is not frowned upon, but
urinating in your dry
dry
suit is not great.
something we definitely frown upon,
Yeah.
especially in the rental place.
Yeah.
Which is
You lose the air gap at that point.
yeah.
Hey, so interest that adopted photography, scuba diving. Also, it just feels like he just wants excuses for equipment.
True.
Is that
Yeah,
reasonable?
Any
Stuff.
excuse for equipment, yeah.
Stuff and things.
What else? I feel like there was another one.
Oh, you were into motorcycles first? Is
Oh,
that what
yeah.
you're going to claim as well?
Yeah,
And
got that
beards.
from me. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a beard, then he grew a beard.
Oh, I did a master's, and then you decided you were going to do a master's
Nice.
Nice.
into education all of a sudden.
Wow. Into education.
I will give you photography. The scuba diving thing, I was doing that since I was 13. Like, that's nonsense. But then the photography, I did get into the old cameras. A little bit. What are you doing there? You're taking some photos. Yeah.
Well.
Yeah.
And now look at you.
Now look at me,
Yeah.
host of a hugely successful podcast. I got my wife on trying to peddle her Kelly Dunnigan website. Who's made it now, you know?
Pedal. Speaking of which, is the camera still rolling?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Got it.
I totally know how you feels, Kelly. Every time I get a birthday present, I find he gets the same thing 3 months later. It's really weird.
Not 3 months, like 3 years
4
later.
years later. 4 months later. No,
For whatever the difference is.
Yeah.
Like 45 or whatever.
5 months.
Yeah.
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 Awkward. We have shared interests.
We have. Do we?
No, you
No.
don't.
No, we don't really.
No. We don't have any interests individually anyway.
You both did MBAs. I mean, that makes you in
Same
like,
interests.
I don't know. It's what you guys
They
like to
both
talk
work
about.
in fintech.
Yeah, we're similar career, more similar careers, maybe.
You work
More
in
similar careers.
Rami copied you.
Yeah.
This is a classic one.
Yeah.
Karo works in fintech.
Yeah.
Google, like Rami's at Google, and then suddenly he's like, "Oh, I think I might try fintech."
What are you doing over there? Yeah, well, I'm
Yeah,
getting bored over
it's
here.
nice.
Yeah, trained economist, banker, goes into fintech, and I go, that's interesting.
You forgot author. She wrote a book
Published.
on banking.
Published author, yeah.
Published author.
Yeah. Has
What's
a
it-
reason to be in fintech.
What's your book called, Carol?
It's very old now. It's called Naked Banking.
Naked Banking. Naked Banking by Carolina Morris. You should check that one out. Link in the description below. Affiliate link. Okay, when's your book on fintech coming out?
All things
Rami?
fintech. It's
Yeah.
a matter of time, isn't it? Just maybe after this downturn.
Such accomplished wives, and we're just tech idiots.
Oh,
we do
bless.
need a shared interest.
What
What do you mean we have need a shared interest? We're podcasting together right now. This is
It'd
brilliant.
be nice if we did like yoga or something.
We've done a lot of that. I brought that up to Marcus. We were going to do a
Yeah.
7-minute hit
We did
together.
We said I said bring active wear this week.
Remember that?
I'm in it. I'm ready. I thought we were doing it now. But
I'm just not sure those shorts are going to pass.
these shorts are great. What's wrong with these shorts?
They're lovely.
They're short because I'm sitting down, but they're longer than
I
this.
like them.
normally.
I like them.
We
Are
should do
you
exercise
guys
together.
still doing the blue apron stuff together?
Oh,
that
no,
was
that's a
great.
long time ago.
What was that?
I'm not sure cooking
Cooking.
together at
Cooking.
dinner is an interest, is it? It's just survival.
Trying to get through. Just
Yeah.
trying like.
You
Yeah.
know, you'd never cook dinner with me, would you?
Barbecues and stuff, right?
But not together.
Our kitchen's too
yeah.
small, and you're
No.
super territorial
Yeah,
in the
it's
kitchen
true.
anyway. You're all just like, get
Wow.
out.
He
Okay.
hates following instructions
Yeah.
of any kind for anything.
That's interesting.
Also true.
That's
so
interesting.
do you cook, Kel?
Yeah, I love to cook. Although it's
How are you doing it?
getting
In
more
the
frustrating.
evening,
Well, I
yeah.
don't anymore. that's when they get their screen time. They get,
Okay,
they get an
and
hour
that's when
screen
you
time,
cook.
4:30, 5:30. That's when I
You
make
cook.
dinner. It's hard now because they're so picky that like
Yeah.
it kind of takes
It's not
all the
fun,
joy out
yeah.
of it for me because there's so little that I can cook. But you know, hopefully at some point they'll broaden
They'll
again.
turn.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that I would like to introduce in our relationship from years is the gifts you give Rami are ridiculous, Carol. Like I feel like his birthdays and stuff, you go all in. Like you're a big
Not-
birthday giver. And like a
We're
Christmas
very, very
giver.
big birthday celebration family.
Yeah.
From my OG family.
Yeah.
Are you saying my birthday gifts are insufficient?
That's where it was
No, they're
going.
good.
It's like a
That's where
freaking
it was
trigger
going.
this year.
Ouch!
And because you talked about it on the podcast, which I listened to, and I knew that you wanted it.
I'm just saying.
Ouch!
I bought you a helicopter ride over the Golden Gate Bridge. Under the
that's
Golden
good.
Gate Bridge,
So
right?
I remember
You guys
that
go
one.
under the bridge.
Rami went on it with me.
I remember
Yeah,
that
I
one
know.
because I was a
I know.
beneficiary of that
Kelly's like,
present.
tickets for 2 and a helicopter ride, Golden Gate Bridge. There you go. I'm like, can I bring Rami? That's going to be wonderful. Thanks. Me and Rami are going to love that.
You know what the best? I didn't get credit for the best present, which was, or maybe not the best. I got him tickets to a monster, or
Oh, yeah,
I
that
didn't
was a
pull the
great
trigger
one.
on it. Luckily, tickets to a monster truck rally in May of 2020.
Wow.
Oh, that would have been
Didn't
so
go to
cool.
that
Biggest
one.
bummer was-
Monster
I-
truck.
I was-
Cow Palace.
It was Hayward or somewhere. I was like,
I would love to do
inland.
that.
We
do
got to
that?
do that.
We do that as a family
We
thing?
got to
No?
do that.
I think the kids would love it.
Would you
Crush
do
it.
it, Carol?
My niece and nephew
Yeah.
would love it.
It's got to be a bastion of anti-vaxxers, though, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
monster
true,
truck
it's
rally.
true.
We're
You
through.
know, just like get
We're
a.
fine. We're at the
We're
other
good to
side.
go. Yeah. That's amazing.
All
We'd
of us
love
with
to do that.
3 of our 4 children unvaccinated.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
their
great. It's fine.
babies.
Details. They'll be asleep.
Would you do an F1 now that Drive to Survive is a thing? Would you do
love
an
Drive
F1?
to Survive. Oh my god!
You love Drive
I
to Survive?
really would. Yeah.
Yeah. Will we do it next year?
Wait, don't you have to have like $1 gazillion?
Get in early.
It's a little bit more
Get in
expensive than it
early.
used to be, as
Yeah.
Marcus was saying.
Yeah, but you can get cheap tickets.
Sure you can.
You don't have to be on the boats. You don't have to be on the fake boats in
Yeah.
Miami.
I just feel like, do we want to do it unless we've got
Would you do
a
it?
boat?
I don't know. It sounds boring to
We
me.
need
Have
someone
you
to mind
watched
the
Formula
kids
One
anyway.
Drive to Survive?
No, I haven't. It just
It
sounds
wouldn't be
so
Kelly's thing.
cars.
It
Like,
wouldn't.
Honestly,
I'm not interested.
no. I thought it was I did not understand Formula One. Did not get it at all. You have to watch it. Honestly.
You
I
don't.
was
don't think you'd
like,
it.
what is this sport? Like, why are people watching a car go around a track super, super dull? So good.
What's so good
it's
about
the
it,
best.
though?
It's the best Netflix.
Because it's got nothing to do with
series.
the racing.
It's just personal drama.
It's entirely drama.
It's not really even drama. It's just
Reality
like
TV.
it's just the personalities are so fascinating to me.
Yeah. It's competition.
You're not gonna like the 90% of the people for sure.
Yeah.
Who do you
It's
like?
fascinating. I like that Australian one. That's quite funny.
Ricardo.
Ricardo.
Oh, the driver, Ricardo. Yeah.
I like Lewis Hamilton 'cause he's from the homeland.
Yeah.
Obviously.
He's also a
About
complete
it,
legend.
really.
That's it.
Probably about that.
Max.
Oh,
Oof.
Hates him. Hates him. It's awkward that our second born is named Max. I'm not sure which it ruined more, the sport or... Yeah.
not for me.
Not for you. Which of the managers do you like?
Oh, you can't like any of them.
None of them?
Yeah,
Gunther?
which one do you like?
I like Wolf.
Yeah.
Just because he's a
Karo likes Toto as well.
alpha.
Karo
He's
likes
a speed
Toto
alpha.
too.
Terrifying
She
guy.
loves Toto.
Talking about his
He's just like a character.
'Cause
He's a
so straight.
caricature.
He's a caricature.
Oh yeah.
It's so
Terrifying human being though. Imagine you did something wrong.
Good. I know.
Imagine going in, hey, Toto, quick
He's
one.
a robot for sure.
Broke something. Yeah.
You did what?
Yeah, that's exactly. Don't let it happen again.
It's last time.
You're really good at doing Toto Wolf.
It's because I'm doing Rocky 4, but just applying it to... Yeah.
That's amazing.
We nailed this though, right? Holiday
we did.
weekend in
Yeah.
a house.
Yeah.
Got all the
Only
kids
took
out,
us
4
like
of them.
24 months to get this organised.
We have been trying to do this since 2018.
the number of failed attempts has
I
been
know.
high.
When did we last
We're
rent
such
a house together?
deadbeats. We just...
We literally think it was Napa.
No, there was
No,
one
that
more.
was the last time we were in a hot tub. I
Oh, really?
That was another time.
Yeah, that's right. There are specific milestones.
Yeah.
Last time hot tub was Napa, 2019.
Yeah.
No, 17.
When we got engaged.
16.
16.
And
Holy
then,
smokes.
the last time we were in a house, I think it was Tahoe, and the whole
Rosie
crew was there.
Little.
What
Yeah.
what was that one?
We all just went to a house to play board
Remember we
games.
went snowshoeing?
Snowshoeing.
Was that
Oh,
the
that was
time
a
when-
good time.
Was that? Wait, I'm mixing them up. Napa was when you randomly bid on something from the UK.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Correct,
and
yeah.
when Rami and I got engaged.
Yeah.
More importantly.
At that weekend?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before I landed, we got engaged and drove up to
Yeah,
Napa.
that weekend.
I remember. You had to do. I remember.
Rosie was 3 months old, and we
Yeah.
were like...
I remember the
She was in the hot
holidays.
tub. She was in the
I
hot
wasn't
tub.
putting those together because you
Yeah.
had the whole my car got a
Correct.
flat tire
Yeah.
story
Correct.
for Karo
That's
for the
the one.
engagement. Let's hear that.
That was the story.
Karo was flying in.
It was a terrible, terrible plan, wasn't it? So the plan was, Karo had gone out and gotten a little bit drunk and bid on a house in Napa
Yeah,
from London,
first time ever.
which
To
is brilliant.
rent, not to buy.
To rent this house for a week and a half, 10 days. Brilliant, genius. And it
Yeah.
was for Labor Day weekend, which is a tradition. We all go away for Labor Day weekend. Awesome. So she was flying in. She was still based in London. I was in Bay Area. Flying in, and we are going to go up. And I thought this is the perfect chance to propose. This was the ideal
It's
plan.
on.
It's ideal. So my plan was to do a treasure hunt through Berkeley, where we first met, and do it all through our places and have these hints and these cards and like have a call with one mum and have a call with the other parents and then end up where we first met in the steps of the Berkeley Library. The only thing is I needed to get her there somehow
To
as
start
she
the treasure
landed
hunt.
to start the treasure hunt.
Yeah.
She lands, and my only way of doing it is I had a driver, right, as the person there. Obviously, I didn't take into account at all her response of willingness to get in with this driver and what my ruse would be, that I wasn't there to pick her up. She was not happy.
So
She was
you
not happy
called
at
her and
all.
said you got a flat tire on your BMW.
I called her and I said, the car's in trouble. I can't do it. Just go ahead. I'll sort it out. Get in with
Karo's
this guy.
reaction was that fucking car. He loves that car
I
more than he
know.
loves
No,
anybody
it was
else.
like it was because it was his like flashy bachelor car
It
as
was
well.
like
It was like a
it was a
BMW
soft
convertible.
top.
M3 or
Dropped
something.
hard
Was
top,
it?
hard top, dropped
Yeah.
up. But yeah, it was a 435. It's
I
fine.
was like, just get a
Was like
real
435.
car. Just get a real car.
You were
Wasn't really
furious.
Fuming. They couldn't even make
Started
an
off
effort.
instantly
Couldn't
annoyed.
make the
11
effort
hours.
to get
Fly
here.
all this way.
11
You can't
hours.
even pick me up at the airport.
Correct.
Meanwhile, you're down on one knee.
And I
waiting.
was like, just
Sweating.
I was like, I'll just wait for you. No, don't worry
Did
about
you?
the
I'm
driver.
not getting in this. Did you give that one? Throw
Oh,
a
yeah.
strap?
I
I'm
was
not
like, I'll
getting
just
in.
wait.
20-minute negotiation to get her in the car.
Get in the fucking car, Carol.
It
No,
took
just wait. Just wait.
forever to get her in the car. It was disastrous. Yeah. Angry, refusing text responses. So there's a 35-minute, 40-minute drive, maybe a 25-minute drive from the airport to Berkeley
Yeah.
before she realised that maybe it was something nice happening.
No, I didn't. I really didn't know until
Yeah, you got to Berkeley, got to the cafe.
he
and you're
gave me
like,
a
"Why am I-"
card.
Yeah.
The driver gave me a card.
So get to the cafe. What's that cafe on the corner? You know, the one up near...
The one next to the pub near International House.
Oh,
That little coffee shop.
yeah.
The outdoor, nice little thing.
Yeah.
That one.
Yeah.
Get her there, drops her off and gives her a card. And for some reason, she's in Berkeley going, I thought I was going to Napa. Why am I in Berkeley? Well, this is lovely. La, la, la. And then the mood started changing.
Oh, yeah, no, I texted you and I was like, he's taking me through Berkeley. So
Right.
it's like, this has cheered me up.
Right, that was
Yeah,
it.
because I didn't really know the route.
You knew it was
so
on. When did you know it was on?
when I got I didn't know. I don't know when I thought that we were getting engaged, but it wasn't actually when I got the card. I just thought
You were
that
just
we
going on
were
a
doing
treasure hunt.
something nice. I can't remember when it flipped, like the switch flipped, and I thought we're getting engaged.
I also remember the first clue was at the cafe and
Yeah.
the card was go in there and ask them for something.
Yeah.
And for some reason, your phone wasn't charged.
Oh, because
So-
it was the clue was like a Bitly link,
A
and I
Bitly link.
needed to get on the internet.
That's right, you needed a link.
So I needed to get a charger, and then it
Right.
took ages.
You had to
So
plug
she's-
your
We were
phone in and
so she
everything,
spent-
all sorts.
Spent
Oh,
20
come
minutes
on.
having a coffee at the cafe for the first
After I
And you're
was so
waiting there.
late.
one of 8 clues, 8 spots around Berkeley. And she's just sitting in
Who
the
was
cafe
watching
sipping
her?
coffee.
Because there was a time when it was like maybe I was going to watch, and like it was Dave watching her.
Creepy.
It was,
That's
you know,
super
people had to
creepy.
follow her. Like there was going to be a bit of
There was going to be a
make
whole
sure
bunch
she
of
get
stuff.
from place to place.
But it basically,
Kind of a mean thing to do after an 11-hour flight.
all these
Make
things
her
I should have
run
thought
all
through.
around Berkeley.
in hindsight,
For context, though, it was something. So her dad used to do lots of treasure hunts, and
Yeah.
treasure hunts were a thing like growing up. So
Yeah, but I mean, maybe you could have waited a day, done it like the next day, so she had a chance to sleep.
that wouldn't have been very kind of, where was the bang, big bang in
Yeah,
that?
and then I got to come up and see all you guys, and Izzy made meatballs, and it was
That's
great.
right. That's right. And everyone was there. You guys came out the next morning, whatever it was.
Well,
we ever tell you how we got engaged? You know this story.
no,
No.
So another romantic
I
one.
feel like Kerry
Kel's
just
laughter tells you everything you need to know.
her eyes just went like sad, sad and like
No, I'm a romantic.
exhausted laughter.
We got engaged on a beach in Normandy, which was beautiful.
Lovely.
I didn't know it was on the D-Day Memorial weekend.
Stop it! Stop it!
I had
True story.
Nothing like a
Nazis on
backdrop.
motorcycles,
so
right?
sad.
This is so
we got
weird.
engaged, and 20 minutes later, we went and toured the White Crosses.
Yes, you went to the. Oh my god!
Stop it!
I swear to God, well, I'd never crossed my mind. I had a big plan. I, got the ring, everything booked. First of all, Kelly's a nightmare to try and organise any of this stuff. Anyway,
It was the Jubilee weekend. You remember that? It was
Oh,
like
yeah.
a 5-day weekend in England.
yeah. So I was like, it's on. And it was back then I used to do a lot of travel around the UK, like 25,000 miles a year in the car. And I was driving that day. I was miles away.
You were in Yorkshire, weren't you?
Yorkshire. So I had like an 8-hour drive just to get back home. Like I drove up 4 hours in the morning, drove back 4 hours in the evening. And I was like, when I get back, be ready, bag packed. We're going on vacation.
This is when you were living in Oxford.
Living in Oxford. So great. We get in the car, get in, get home. Kelly's ready. We get in the car and we're trying to drive down to get the ferry. And usually it would have been like a 2-hour drive, maybe 2.5-hour drive, something like
That's
that.
right, yeah.
But it was like, because it was the bank holiday weekend, everyone's getting the ferry. It took us 5 or 6 hours to get to the ferry
Sorry,
terminal.
It didn't take that long.
It took us hours. It did.
Yeah, it took
about-
us a long time. Because we had to go around London.
Yeah,
Everybody's
down
leaving.
the south end of
Yeah.
London. We get there and we are in the parking lot, and Kelly realizes she's forgotten her
My
ID,
visa.
her visa
My-
to get back in the country.
Oh,
She'd be able to leave, but she couldn't get back in again.
Oh, well.
Now I've booked a 5-star resort in Calais, the place we were landing, intending to get engaged that morning there in this beautiful, beautiful place. So we're like, what are we going to do? And then Kelly's like, well, we could go camping, or we could go up to the cliffs of Dover or something. I was just like, it's fine. We'll just go home. We'll figure out what we're doing tomorrow. I was like, I'll get engaged somewhere else. I'll figure it out. But we drove the whole way back. It was 2:00 in the morning at this stage. The guy at the ferry building said, if you get back here before 6 a.m., your tickets are still valid for a different ferry. And I was like, grand. So we drove home. We drove the whole way home back after 2.5 hours.
So tired.
And when we got home, Kelly was like, let's go to bed, Jesus. And I was like, I'm not even tired. Let's just do it. Let's just get back in the car. I feel totally awake. It doesn't feel like I've been driving for 13 hours already. Let's do it. And she's like, really? I'm like, yeah. So we get a load of Red Bull. I got a load of Red Bull and Tenacious D blaring.
D, that's right.
Oh, that's amazing.
So we get back in the car. Out. Kelly has carcolepsy already. She's out the whole way. Like I'm driving. I'm like, cars.
You woke me up at the end because you were like, "I'm sorry, I need your help keeping staying awake."
We're gonna die if you don't keep me awake.
Before.
So we get there in time. We get there about like 5:30 a.m. Make it onto the train to Calais.
God.
Get into Calais, into the fancy it's a kind of a.
It was a B&B, right?
No, but a B&B.
Very different descriptions.
I think it was. You booked a B&B for the first night.
No, it was a B&B. It was a really boutique-y, fancy B&B. It was an expensive place, right?
Okay.
And we arrive in at
it was like 7 in the morning.
Yeah. And we'd be up by
Check
11.
out 11.
And they were like, okay, you can go. Yeah, they were kind of reluctant to let us in. We went in, we slept for a couple of hours. And it was in that context. We had 3 or 4 hours sleep. Then we went for a little drive down the coast. And at the first, we got some picnic stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
We went to a beach.
And Kelly's lying down on the sand eating her picnic, like kind of leaning down, and I'm leaning down. And then I get up on one knee. Like, it's the chivalry, but yeah, super awkward. I was kind of like, oh, Kelly. And then I'm kind of standing over her, and I'm kind of like lying. And like, oh, fuck. Anyway, would you, things are going so great. Tired. Would you be my wife? And she said, yes. And then we're like, oh, this is amazing. What do we do? Let's go. And then we get in the car and we drive like 2 minutes down the road. And there's this massive memorial, this massive D-Day memorial. And it's like, it's super somber and sad. Everyone's having a terrible time. And we're like... And
there were all these people reenacting, right?
Yeah.
So there were
everyone's
all these
dressed up and
like
there's
actual,
reenactments and
a bunch of people dressed up as Nazis riding World War II era motorcycles all around Normandy for the weekend.
God.
So
oh my God.
Yeah.
It was
lucky lady.
Brilliant.
Nothing screams engagement like
that's
the
the way to
Nazis.
kick it off.
Yeah, we just forced that one through. Like if you were to read like Fate or anything, it's like, yeah, let's just smash through all this stuff. Yeah,
Everything's going to be great. It's going to be sorted. Sleep deprived.
Yeah.
I like that you still made the most of the resort for just 2 hours of sleep.
Yeah, I was knackered.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah.
Well worth it.
Twitchy sleep after all that Red Bull as well. Like,
It's not good.
Worst. Adrenaline
let's go get
sleep.
engaged. Yeah, it's going to be great.
That's how do we never hear that? That's an excellent story.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's worth it.
Wow.